We have a useful definition of what an integrated data system is. Now we can discuss why we need one. Specifically, what problem is an integrated data system trying to solve by sharing data? Imagine you're a frontline worker providing services to families. Now, your organization does not exist in a vacuum. There are other providers that this family is receiving services from as well. How can you coordinate with those other providers to enable the best possible experience for this family? Well, one approach might be to ask each family a long list of questions to try to get a better picture of what services they are currently receiving and which other services the family might be eligible for and find useful. There are two major problems with this approach. First, if that family is receiving services from other providers, they are getting a similarly long set of questions from each of those providers as well. After about the third or fourth time answering the same questions over and over again, this long list of questions approach can actually start to become harmful. This is especially true if a family has experienced a traumatic event for which they are seeking help. Imagine being in this situation yourself. Maybe you just lost a home, a loved one, or both. Now imagine every time you went to receive a new service, each provider was unwittingly asking you to relive those painful moments by asking you all of these questions. You might simply stop trying to receive services in order to avoid reliving those painful moments. The best practices in avoiding these painful retellings are called trauma-informed care. It involves sharing data in a sensitive way with consent so that future providers know to handle these issues with care and compassion. Second, there are other pains of asking the same questions over and over again that don't quite rise to the level of traumatic, but still could and should be avoided. Specifically, there's the time involved in repeatedly answering the same questions. Time is such a precious commodity for both the family and the provider. Whether time is taken up by answering screening questions the family has already answered multiple times, or whether it's a service provider trying to match this family with what programs they might be eligible for, time is a valuable commodity that is all too often needlessly taken up because the right people lack the right information at the right time. Those right people are the families themselves. That right information is all the information the family would like to share with each new provider. And that right time is during or before a visit with a service provider so that the provider can make the best use of that family's limited time. All that right information currently exists. It's just scattered over a myriad of different data systems. What if there was a different way? What if a family had the option to avoid hours of needless paperwork and the traumas of retelling their story? What if, instead of filling out an intake form for each provider, the provider simply provided the family with a QR code the family could scan? Upon scanning the code on their phone, the intake form would be pre-populated with all of their information, and the family got to click a checkmark box for provider information they would like to give consent to share. What if, when a family changed addresses, they could update this new address one time in their app and push that change to all providers they would like to update, instead of painstakingly updating each provider individually? All of these things and more are possible with a proper integrated data system, and it could revolutionize how families receive care and how nonprofits provide that care. Families would have access to their own 360-degree profile of services received and control over which providers could see that profile. These benefits are the why of an integrated data system. In the next video, we'll cover the how of an integrated data system.